In today's complex world, simply hiring smart, hard-working people is not enough. True organizational success depends on a team's ability to collaborate, experiment, and adapt. Yet, in countless workplaces, a silent epidemic stifles this potential: fear. Employees routinely hold back ideas, questions, and concerns, worried about appearing incompetent, disruptive, or negative in the eyes of colleagues and leaders. This instinct to self-censor, rooted in our earliest social experiences, carries a tremendous hidden cost. It blocks the flow of crucial information, smothers innovation, and can even lead to catastrophic ethical and business failures. The central solution to this pervasive problem is the cultivation of psychological safety, a shared belief that the team is safe for interpersonal risk-taking. Psychological safety is not about being nice or lowering performance standards. It is about creating an environment where people are not hindered by fear and can thus engage their full capabilities. Research across industries, from hospitals to tech giants, consistently shows that teams with high psychological safety outperform others. They report more errors, not because they make more, but because they are transparent, turning mistakes into learning opportunities. They communicate more openly, allowing diverse perspectives to collide and spark innovation. Google's own extensive research identified psychological safety as the single most important dynamic of effective teams. When people aren't wasting energy on self-protection, they can channel it into solving problems and creating value. The dire consequences of its absence are starkly illustrated by corporate tragedies. At Wells Fargo, a culture of intense fear and unrealistic targets drove employees to commit fraud, opening millions of unauthorized accounts. At Nokia, top executives failed to openly discuss competitive threats, while middle managers and engineers were too afraid to voice that the company's technology was falling behind. In both cases, the lack of safety to speak truth to power led to massive financial loss, reputational ruin, and organizational decline. These are not mere anecdotes but powerful warnings. A culture of fear might produce short-term compliance, but it inevitably breeds long-term risk, ethical compromise, and strategic blindness. Building a fearless organization requires foundational shifts, starting with our relationship with failure. Leaders must actively reframe failure from a shameful outcome to be avoided into a natural byproduct of experimentation and a vital source of data. Companies like Pixar explicitly tell their teams that all early drafts are bad, liberating them to create and critique without fear. Some leaders even celebrate intelligent failures to reinforce that taking calculated risks is valued more than static perfection. Equally important is redefining the role of leadership itself. The traditional model of the all-knowing boss who commands and controls must give way to the leader as a facilitator who sets clear direction and then actively solicits the team's intelligence. A leader's job is not to have all the answers, but to ask the best questions and create the conditions for the answers to emerge from the collective. This leads to a critical leadership behavior, demonstrating curiosity and intellectual humility. When a leader admits, "I don't know," or asks, "What do you think?" it sends a powerful signal that everyone's input is needed. It dismantles the pretense of infallibility that stifles dialogue. A leader's genuine curiosity about diverse viewpoints validates the act of speaking up. Furthermore, how leaders respond when people do take risks is what truly cements psychological safety. Productive responses involve appreciating the effort, deconstructing the idea without deconstructing the person, and focusing on collective learning. Dismissive, punitive, or even indifferent reactions will quickly teach the team that silence is the safer policy. While leaders bear primary responsibility for setting the tone, psychological safety is not solely a top-down mandate. Every team member can contribute to its growth. This can involve asking more questions in meetings, acknowledging one's own uncertainties, publicly thanking colleagues for their contributions, or gently inviting quieter voices into the conversation. It means choosing to frame feedback as a way to improve the work, not judge the individual. Over time, these individual acts create new group norms where candor is expected and respected. Ultimately, creating a fearless organization is a continuous practice, not a one-time initiative. It requires deliberate, consistent effort to replace habits of fear with rituals of openness. The reward, however, is immense at a workplace where the full talent and creativity of every person can surface, where problems are seen and solved faster, and where the organization becomes as agile and resilient as the people within it. It is the definitive foundation for thriving in an uncertain world. Book title: The Fearless Organization.